Buongiorno everyone and welcome back to lineup predictions here on the Magpie Channel TV. Watford tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff, lovely early afternoon one, live on Amazon Prime for free. Watford sitting in 17th place in the Premier League table, just 3 points out of the relegation zone, level with West Ham, 12 points behind Newcastle. In the last 6 games, they've lost to Chelsea, Southampton, Burnley and Crystal Palace. They've drawn to Leicester, and the last outing was a 2-1 win over bottom place Norwich. So perfect opportunity to bounce back after that horror show against Man City. We should have a few more players back as well. Obviously the Man City game, we'll try not to get too much into that. Just forget about that one for now. It's in the past, it's history. Let's bounce back. Brucey spoke about bouncing back this morning. He spoke about responding to defeat. He said a couple awful results this season, which we have. We've had some absolute stinkers this season. But in some of them, we've actually responded in the right way, as Brucey said this morning. And we have, looking back, the second game of the season, horror show away to Norwich. Obviously, as we know now, Norwich are destined to finish bottom of the league. We got beat 3-1 down there. Next game, away to Tottenham. Beat Tottenham. Massive result for us. We had a horror show against Leicester, 5-0, where Isaac Hayden got sent off. The next game at home was a win against Man United, where Matty Longstaff made his debut, scored the goal. We had an awful game against Aston Villa, I think in the back end of November. The next game was Man City at home, where we drew 2-2. Very good result. Quite an embarrassing defeat away to Burnley, which we were there. It was awful. Next game, a decent win against Crystal Palace. And the last time we played Man City, just a week and a half ago, awful game. Only 2-0, but it was a fucking horrendous performance. The next game we went and beat Bournemouth 4-1. So every time we have had quite an embarrassing defeat this season, we've bounced back quite well. And now we're playing Watford. Watford aren't a great team. As I say, it's 1 win and 1 draw. The only win being against Norwich in the last 6. It's just surviving relegation. I think they should be okay at this point. 3 points outside with only a few games to go. Bournemouth behind them, got a very tough run in, not looking like they're going to get any more points this season. So I think Watford and West Ham should just be safe about now. But this is a huge game for them. Like, we're safe now. We're not really playing for anything. So Watford are going to come in, make sure they get survival and be dying for 3 points. I think Nigel Pearson's came in and did a pretty decent job this season. He's the third manager they've had this season after Javi Garcia got sacked for Quique Sanchez-Flores, who got sacked before then for Garcia. He came back, had about 3 games and got sacked himself for the second time. And Pearson's came in and done okay. Like, they should just survive now. Brucey also says, in 38 games, I'm sure most teams have had those awful days. In football, you have the chance to go again, and we've got one just around the corner. I expect and demand a better performance tomorrow, and I'm confident the players will do that. Well, I hope so. Obviously, as I say, it was a shit show, horror show, train wreck, but we did have some major players missing against Man City, and we've got, hopefully, should have some back. Brucey says, saint-maximin, Almiron and Lascelles, as long as they come to do training today, Friday, then they should be okay. They could be available, may go straight back into the starting lineup. Fingers crossed, because we need them to put out a performance. Captain Lascelles at the back, and Almiron and obviously saint-maximin, our danger men up top with the pace and the creativity. We're missing that in abundance against Man City. One of the best teams in the world, in the league. Like, they've got such depth and quality in their team. Like, their second or third string team could beat our team, our first team, most days of the week. But the fact was, their first team were playing like our second team. Like, there was no chance we were going to get anything there. So we'll have got a massive opportunity to turn that around, bring saint-maximin back in the team, Almiron, Lascelles, go for the throat of Watford, bounce back well. I think we need another Bournemouth-like performance or a Sheffield United performance where we dominated that game, score at least 3 goals and put the doubters to sleep for another week. Well, a few days. Emil Kraft is a concern. He picked up a bit of a knock in the game the other day, so he might miss out. Kieran Clark's a doubt for the rest of the season. Probably not going to see him. Florian Lejeune, who was expected to be out for the end of the season, Brucey says could be available by the end of next week. But by the end of next week, we've only got Brighton on the Monday and Liverpool the following week. So there's not really a lot of opportunity for him to get back in, only 2 games at best. Well, I'm sure we'll cope with that, to be fair. Isaac Hayden and Sean Longstaff aren't expected to play again by the end of the season. They've got hamstring injuries. And Andy Carroll has a groin strain. I would have liked to have seen Andy Carroll being brought back into the team, but he's another one doubtful. But yeah, saint-maximin, Almiron and Lascelles are the main men that we need to get straight back into that team. So I'll run through what I've got, and it's tough, really. Like, we don't know how fit these players are, so it's just a massive guess. Is rotation still necessary? How tired are the players? But what I've gone for is Martin Dubrovka in goal, with Javier Manquillo coming back at right back to replace the possibly injured Emil Kraft. Manquillo has been in need of a rest for a little while. I think he started all games since coming back. He's had his last 2 games he started at left back, covering for Danny Rose. But he did get a rest against Man City the other day, which was well needed, but he came on. It wasn't a full rest. He still took part in that game, so he still played in every single game so far. So hopefully Manquillo's available. If Kraft can't make it, the only other option is Deandre Headland, who looks like he wants out of the club. He got a chance, his first start since the restart against Man City, and wasn't great. I think you can tell that he's not really that interested anymore. It was reported after the game that he's going to be speaking to the club, speaking to his agent, and trying to seek a move away from the club. So fair play, but Manquillo's our number 1 anyway. So as long as Manquillo's fit, he's got to go straight to the starting lineup for me. We need to bounce back against Watford, as I say, get that W. So depending on the injuries and the fitness, my first choice is Manquillo if he's fit. Second choice, Kraft if he's fit. And then we'll look at Headland. And alongside that, probably going to put in Shaw and Lascelles. Hopefully Lascelles can come back. We've missed him. Federico Fernandez, I've said in every game for the last 4, maybe 5 games, but at least 4 games, Fernandez has needed a rest. He's looked knackered the last few games. I think he's played almost every single minute. I think he might have got taken off in maybe the first or second game coming back. But he's started every single game since the restart, played in almost every single minute. And you can tell he's just not as sharp as he was right at the start. I think he was one of our best players coming back after the restart. But the last couple of games, he's looked absolutely dog-tired. So Shaw, who hasn't done well the last couple of games, both times we've seen him since restart was against Man City. Didn't perform well. Who knows where his future lies with the club, but he should be the fittest. Between Lascelles and Fernandez, Shaw's surely got to be the fittest. And we haven't got anyone else, as I say. Clark's a doubt for the season. Lejeune's not going to be back until the end of the season. And Dummett's ineligible. So Kelland Watts is the only other centre-back option that we have. So for me, Shaw's got to go in there. Hopefully alongside the captain Lascelles, because I think we'll miss his leadership and assurance at the back. And Fernandez is in massive need of a rest. So Shaw and Lascelles there for me. And Danny Rose on the left. Another fairly inconsistent player. He had 2 games out before the Man City game. Unused substitute in the previous 2 games before Man City. Definitely needed it. Also looked very tired. But unfortunately for him, we haven't really got any other options at left back with Dummett being out. The only possibility is Matt Ritchie plays there or Lazaro. Manquillo could go over there and Headland starts maybe, but I'd rather see Danny Rose there. Rose seems to get better as the game goes on. He always looks very sloppy, very slow, unfit in the first 20-30 minutes, but as the game goes on, particularly in the second half, it's like he gets a second wind. He just needs time to be eased into the game, which is quite annoying. If you could just start from the kickoff, that would be dead nice, Danny. So Danny Rose at left back, and in centre mid, Shelvey. We need a big game from Shelvey in centre mid, where he should be playing, not as a number 10, not further forward. Again, with more injuries, Hayden and Sean Longstaff being out, Shelvey's pretty much going to have to play in the rest of these games, and his partner alongside him, I don't even really want to get into this, to be honest. We're going to have to put Bentaleb in for me. Big Renty said in the player ratings at the end of the City game, he doesn't want to see Bentaleb again in the black and white shirt, which I completely understand because he was awful. Terrible performance from Bentaleb. Only got a few games left on loan. After them performances, I wouldn't be signing him. But other than Bentaleb, the only other options are Matty Longstaff, who is obviously still debating his contract. I've said in the last few games that he probably shouldn't really play if his mind's elsewhere. He's got a lot of things on his plate. I think if he thinks his future isn't with the club, then I don't really want to be signing him, to be honest. I'd rather it'd be easier for him to just leave the club instead of chugging on the last couple of games. Like, I think it's unfair on both him and the team, to be fair. So it's either Matty Longstaff, who I actually would prefer to see in there alongside Bentaleb. I'd rather see fucking anyone in there alongside Bentaleb after the other day's performance. But I probably just keep Matty as a substitute, bring him on later on. And the only other option is young Jack Young. 19-year-old, hasn't played a senior game yet, just made his first team call-up the other day in the game against Man City. Unused substitute. So, yeah, Shelvey and Bentaleb hopefully play a lot better than they did against Man City. And up top, back on the right, we need Maxi. Hopefully Maxi can be fit alongside Almiron in the number 10. Hopefully them two can be fit because we're just so dry without them. The team just hasn't got any pace, any creativity, no will to get forward. It's like, hopefully they can be fit or at least come on off the bench. Like, either way, I just want to see them involved at home against Watford. I think 3 points are there for the taking, but we do need our best players. Like, if Watford see our starting lineup without them in, without Lascelles, they'll fancy their chances and proper go for it. But if they see Maxi and Almiron in there, they might shit their pants a little bit, and that's what we want. We want to strike fear into other teams, not laugh at our starting lineup like the rest of us did, seeing that Man City lineup. Fucking hell. Alongside them on the left, probably stick with Joe Linton. He started up front against Man City. Obviously, we know that's not his best role. He shouldn't be there, particularly not as a lone striker. But behind the striker, with people around him like Almiron, he's a lot better, gets deep, gets stuck into the game, wins the ball, tackles, passes off well, holds it up. I think Joe Linton could have a good game if he gets a starting spot. There is a chance that maybe I would really like to see maybe Maxi on the left and give Lazaro another chance, because I thought Lazaro did all right against Man City, his first start in an attacking position. So Lazaro on the right, Maxi on the left. Or maybe bring Matt Ritchie in, who I didn't really think had the greatest of games the other day. So that's why I'd probably stick with Joe Linton. I think at least he's been a bit consistent in his efforts. Like, it's still the end product that is the huge cause for concern, but I don't think there's any doubt in his effort, his will to get stuck in and really try. And up top, probably the only fit out-and-out striker that we'll have is Dwight Gale. A substitute, came on late, didn't really get involved in the game against Man City, but with Carroll with a groin strain, Gale up top for me. He's scored goals against the likes of Villa and Bournemouth, the teams at the bottom there, alongside Watford. So, yeah, I think Gale could have a decent game, getting behind the centre-backs. I think he can get a goal in there. On the bench then, we'll go with Carl Darlow, Emil Kraft and Deandre Headland, Federico Fernandez. And after that, it's tough, really. Do you go with a couple of the kids? Matty Longstaff's got to come in, as I said before. Ritchie and Lazaro, which would probably leave Jack Young out. I would like to see him given a chance, to be honest, but I don't know. I think we need more of the senior players, apart from maybe Tom Allen, who I will throw in, alongside another striker in Muto. Muto's, I'm not really arsed about seeing Muto, to be honest. I'd rather see Tom Allen. So in place of Muto, we could potentially see Jack Young or Christian Atsu. Hopefully Andy Carroll's fit. I think Carroll alongside Allen, the attacking options, I'd much rather see that. But as I said at the start, this is just purely guesswork. We don't actually know who's fit. The ones that are coming back into the team, are they going to go straight back into the team? Are they going to come in on the bench? Are they even going to be fit enough to start on the bench? I've just got to hold my hands up and say I've got no further inside information. I don't know what the hell Brucey's got going on. He's been playing people unfit for the last few days, so fuck knows what he's doing. But that's going to be my lineup anyway. Whether it's right or not, highly doubt. hopefully we don't see Bentaleb, and the others I ain't got a fucking clue about, to be honest. I'm just waffling on. So make with that as you will. Let me see your prediction in the bottom in the comments. Let me know what you would do. Who else would you rotate? Who's going to be fit? Who's going to play? Like this video and subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV, and enjoy yourself.